What's up, YouTube? I'm Robert, and you're watching the B1KER Bar Podcast.
My question is, why? Like, why is it a good idea to have an e-bike? Like, let's just start with that question.
All right.
What is the point of an e-bike?
Do you want me to play like good cop and you play bad cop or something? Like, is that what we're doing? Because I can tell you the argument. The argument that people that I hear most of the time is you can cover more miles in less time.
Yes.
So they're like,
absolutely.
hey, I'm a new father and I only get 2 hours to ride, so I can go out and bang out 30 miles instead of 6.
Yeah. Great point, right? So it's like, yeah, I'm a new father, therefore I can get more time on the trails. Or, yeah, I'm a busy person, and so then I can get more out of the trails.
Right.
What's like mountain biking it's fun to go down, but like it's about the community.
Right.
It's about building and maintaining the trails that you ride. And e-biking basically takes that culture and craps on it, right? Like, even if your friends have an e-bike, like, I have so little time, I'm just going to go get 5 laps in the time it would normally take me to do 2. And then I can say, screw it and go do my own thing. Okay. So you're just basically, you're taking the good out of a sport and abusing that and not doing the rest that's good. Right. So for me, it's about community. It's about camaraderie. And yes, one day everybody might have an e-bike, but I see a lot of people solo on e-bikes just trying to get hot laps in. But yeah, and again, I don't know. Yes, you can do more laps, but do you need to do more laps? Is that really that helpful?
For me, the spot where I think about it as being really fun. Did I take you to Auburn when you were here? I can't remember if we rode Auburn.
I did not ride Auburn.
Okay. So Auburn has a pretty good, it's like a 3-mile climb at this one section. I mean, there's probably 50 miles of trails there, but there's this loop that a lot of people do. It's 3 miles up and 3 miles down, let's say, right? And there's also some shoot off trails that you could do that go down in a different direction into an OHV park. And sometimes we'll shuttle that, just hey, we want to have fun today. We're just going to shuttle this up and down. And I feel like if I had an e-bike, then we wouldn't have to shuttle. We could go up there and we could do laps and have that that kind of day and not be shuttling around, for hours. At the end of the day, you maybe did 5 laps, but you spent 2.5 hours in the car, driving up and down a hill, right? Resetting cars and stuff. Yeah. So to me, that's where I feel like it would be really fun in that kind of circumstance, or where it would be so instead of us spending all that time in the car, maybe we got, 6 or 7 laps in and actually we're pedaling the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's where I'm not an idiot. I'm not. Somebody's like, "What's this guy's problem? He doesn't want to do more laps." I'm like, "No, of course I want to do more laps. That's why I go to a bike park, right? That's set up for that." But and that's my thing, right? We have bike parks that take away all the climbing.
Yeah,
and that's a shame. You should they're not too. Yeah, it's a drive. But anyway, that's solves the problem. Do we really need to take the bike park aspect and bring it into our local trails?
Yeah.
Or for me, we have a lot of climbing here in the Pacific Northwest. There's 2 areas. One's called Chuckanut that you can shuttle, but a lot of times the road is closed because there's washaway like there is now. And I'm yeah, you know what? It would be nice to have an e-bike to be able to do more laps. Another one is just recently a legalized trail, and there's might be other trails there. I won't name what it is, but that's one area that's literally it's a 2,000-foot climb up and there's a road. And I'm yeah, an e-bike is way more advantageous there. I want to say e-bikes might be allowed there. I don't even know, but yes, I get it. For that, it would be fun. But then again, part of me likes the workout, likes the difficulty. And that's the thing. Are we taking away all the difficulty in e-bikes? And just making it where people can abuse the system more? Or
have you ridden one? Have you ridden one on a trail?
I haven't, and I've always said I'll never ride an e-bike. I think I would. I would like to try one. But I know what's going to happen. It's going to feel fun. It's going to be great to get to the top, but it's not going to feel as fun going down because it's a heavier bike. We talk about plowing. You plow on those things because they're so fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, Specialized new one is only like 37 pounds.
And it cost $37,000.
Yeah, right. But I mean, it's not. So I mean, you're going to see that weight continue to drop. The battery technology is going to get better. The weight's going to continue to drop, and some of that weight in the spot that is in is not that bad. Like I know when I rode the Zeroed bike doesn't have a battery, but it does have a gearbox, which is weighing a lot of weight, and it's there in the center of the bike. And that thing, I have never felt so confident in corners as that bike, because the way that weight was, it just like, it felt like having a keel on the turns, you know?
Well, and on the Zero, you don't have as much weight on the back, and so that makes it lighter for your suspension too. So that feels great. Yeah, and here's my thing, and like I know e-bikes are our future. They're not going away.
You're just like, I'll just talk about 29ers.
Yeah, like, and once again, I'm not a slow adopter. I'm usually an early adopter. I pre-ordered my Tesla truck. I have a one wheel, which is like electric. I love electric stuff, but for some reason, e-bikes, like I know they're coming. I know the train's left the station, and there's no way we can get it back. And one day, everyone's gonna have an e-bike. But I'm not sure about it, man. I'm just not sure.
I feel like it's just gonna be another one in the stable. I don't necessarily feel like it's gonna like stop us from buying bikes that don't have a battery. You know what I mean? Like, you really think that it'll get to a point where like you can't find a regular like chain bike, you know, like a regular pedal bike, you know?
I do, because if it is, you know, a 3 pound difference, a 5 pound difference, and the price tag comes down because of new battery technology, right? Are you really like, if 90 or 80% of people, like if the price difference is like $500, or like, let's say $1,000 is the difference. It's a lot of money, but nice YT is $2,400. If you can get the same spec with an e-bike, you know, engine, whatever they call them,
whatever it is,
for $3,400, and it's only 3 pounds heavier, every single person is gonna buy the e-bike.
Yeah, I think the only thing, that makes me sad to think about. Like, honestly, it does, because I agree with you, man. There's a certain, like, regardless of my belly, it may be hard to believe, but I enjoy the climbing. I enjoy that, like, that part of the ride where you feel like you really truly accomplished something. And I don't feel like I would get the same feeling from the e-bike. I feel like I would have fun, but I don't feel like I would feel so accomplished. Like, you wouldn't like it's like driving to the top of a mountain to see the view versus like hiking up there. Like, you're like, dude, I earned this, you know?
But I don't know if you've seen, Robert, like the data is in, and that's actually not true. E-bikes allow you to cover twice the distance, but at the end of an e-bike ride versus a regular ride, you burn the same calories.
Yeah.
So you just get to ride twice as much. So just imagine you burn half the calories going uphill, and then you have so much energy, you do it again.
Yeah.
So you burn the same amount, get twice the downhill.
I totally understand what you're saying. I still don't feel like mentally that would make me feel better.
And this is where I am sane enough and not naive enough to realize, like, that is the future, even if I'm not stoked on it, even though I do like.
Do you agree with me though? Like, would you feel that way too? Like, would you feel like you would be satisfied that you did 2 laps and you're like same fitness out of it? Or like to me, I feel like it's like you put the sweat equity in to get up there. And I feel like with the motor, it's like, it's kind of like,
once again, like if you told me like, hey, you're going to get twice the laps and yet burn the same calories in the same amount of time, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, okay. Yeah.
So then why the hell do you hate e-bikes, dude? You just explained to me why you're totally okay with them, but then you're like, no, but I hate them.
I did not say I'm okay. I said, I know this is the future.
If you like that, make sure you check out the full episode. And hey, do me a favor. Before you take off, hit the like and subscribe. big thanks to the show sponsor, Tasco MTB. Click the link and show more to save 15% on your next purchase.